traditional in the world. We are the only constitutional monarchy in North America. Our our institutions uphold commitment to peace, order, and a good environment. A key process in Canada original constitutional document in 1867 in the British North America Act. A belief in ordered liberty inspired hard work and fair play has has enabled to constitutional enable to Canadian uh, to build a proposed society in rugged environments from our Atlantic shores to Pacific oceans and to Arctic Circle, so much so that poets are uh, songwriters have hailed Canada as great dominions to to understand and to understand what it means the Canadians. It's important to know about our three founding people: Aboriginal, French, and British.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, so there's a lot of information in this part here that you have to try to remember. Okay, so um, it's this constitutional monarchy. So that's very important. We are the only constitutional monarchy in North America. So in North America, there's Canada, United States, and Mexico.
Okay.
And Canada is the only one that's a constitutional monarchy. So we're the only one that has a queen. So we have
Okay.
the other countries don't. So that try to remember that. And then these
Okay.
words here, these words, peace, order, and good government. That will that is those are three things to remember because there are many questions about that.
Oh,
So they you say, what do our institutions try to uphold? It means what does our government try to do? It tries to have peace, order, and good government. Yeah, those are three things. Try to remember those words because those three things because that comes up a lot: peace, order, and good. And then the
okay.
other thing is 1867, and we had the British North America Act. So that's when Canada started in 1867. And then the constitutional document, so that's like all the big ideas that uh, Canada put down as what we wanted to be, all the big ideas that how we wanted to run Canada. That's called the British North America. So those are kind of the important things. And then the other thing to remember here is the hard work and fair play. And do you remember what this word prosperous means? Do you remember? Do you know what that word means?
Yeah.
Prosperous. Yeah,
Prosperous. It means that like uh, is improve or getting good uh,
yeah, exactly.
progress
Yeah,
in future.
like progress and it also means rich. It can also mean prosperous. It can also mean rich. So improving, like you said, or rich. Those are two things. And so um, there's sometimes a question of what has made Canada prosperous, and the answer is liberty, enterprise, and hard work. Yeah, those things. So freedom, enterprise means we have people who like to do businesses, and hard work. Those are the three things. And then
Okay.
and then the other thing to hear is this great dominion. Those are the great dominions. Poets and songwriters have hailed hailed means to call. I've called Canada. Like, yeah, it just means to call. It's a fancy word to say they called Canada the Great Dominion. That's
Okay.
yeah.
And
So those
Dominion?
Dominion is when Canada started, it was called the Dominion of Canada. It wasn't called Canada. So Dominion means to have kind of control over all the land. That's what it means. So it's like we have a big country, and we don't have many people living here, and so dominion is like we have dominion over the land. Like we have a responsibility to control the land well. That's what dominion means. It's
Okay.
from the Bible, really. Dominion is a word from the Bible. They took it from the Bible. That's what, and so
Okay.
yeah, we talk about that later. So the Great Dominion, that's just when Canada started, it was called the Dominion of Canada, and then they changed the name to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's just try to remember those things. The peace. So constitutional monarchy, the only one in North America. Peace, order, and good government. And then the British North America Act, 1867.
Mhm.
They Canadians are prosperous through liberty, enterprise, hard work. And then songwriters call Canada the Great Dominion. Great. Yeah.
Okay.
Try to remember those things. I think you'll do well. And then it says Canada was founded by three groups of people: the Aboriginal people, the French, and the British. Okay, and so we're going to talk about just one today, just talking about the Aboriginal people mostly today. So can you read this part here where it says Aboriginal peoples?
Okay. Aboriginal peoples. The ancestors of Aboriginal people are believed to have migrated from Asia many thousands of years ago. They were well established uh, here long before explored from the Europe first came to North America. Diverse the vibrant First Nation culture were rooted in religious beliefs about their relationship to creator and the natural environments and each other.
Good. Can you stop there for that?
Okay.
Do you understand the ideas there?
Uh, Here, diverse, verbant is First Nation cultural. The diver, I don't know meaning, and vibrant,
All these words, these words are diverse and
yeah,
vibrant.
yeah.
Diverse means they had um, not everybody was the same. They had many different groups of First Nations, and they all had different ideas. Yeah, so
Okay,
it's not like all the First Nations were in one group. They had many groups, different ideas. That's diverse. And vibrant means they were strong and healthy. That's what vibrant means.
okay.
Strong and healthy. Yeah.
All right.
Is that the only new words there? The other ones you understand?
No, understand, yeah, all of them.
Okay. So yeah, when people came from Europe, the Aboriginal people had been here for thousands of years, many thousands of years. And they walked. People think the sea between Russia and Alaska was frozen, and so they think people walked across the ice to come to North America. Yeah, so that's that, and they think they came from Asia, because you can see in this picture there's a picture of a Aboriginal people. You can see this picture, the Aboriginal person here. Their face is similar to a person from Asia, and
Yeah.
so that's why they think Aboriginal people came from Asia, thousands and thousands of years ago. So they were here many thousands of years before Europeans came, all over North America. And then it says they had many different religious beliefs. So they had many different types of religion, and they didn't really call their God. They called it the Creator. That was their word for God, the Creator. And so,
Okay.
but their religion was more to do with nature and animals and nature rather than anything else. Yeah. So they were very nature and the environment are very important to each other. Very important to them. Yeah. Okay. So this is sometimes a question: where did the ancestors of Aboriginal people come from? There was Asia. That's usually a question.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the other questions here. I think that's the main thing. Try to remember that because that's often a question. Okay, so let's try the next one. Aboriginal and treaty. Do you know what a treaty is? Ever heard that word treaty before?
Treaty.
Yeah.
Treaty.
You know what
Treaty. Not remember.
No? Okay. A treaty is like an agreement, like two groups agree on something. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so like when the Aboriginal people were here and then the Europeans came, and then the Europeans made treaties, they made agreements with the Aboriginal people that, the Aboriginal people could keep their land and they have rights. The Aboriginal people have rights. And so that's why they have treaties and they have to be protected. The rights of the Aboriginal people have to be protected. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what a treaty is, and it's agreement between two people.
Okay.
Can you do the next part there? Aboriginal and treaty rights.
Aboriginal and treaty rights are in the Canadian Constitution. Territorial rights were the first guaranteed through the Royal Proclamation of 1763 by King George and established the basis for negotiating treaties with the newcomers, treaties that were not always fully respected.
Very good. You understand it? Is there any new words there?
Yeah. The word is established like fundamental or like different one. Some as
Established means to make.
to me.
Yeah, establish the basis.
Okay.
So it means to it means to start something. Establish.
Okay.
You start it, and then it's everything else builds from that where you start.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, and then this one here, try to remember this guy here, King George. And this, when you have the three symbols like that, that means King George the Third. Those are called Roman numerals, and so that's how they're called Roman numerals. It's like numbers that the Romans used, many, and so that's what they're called, Roman numerals.
Okay.
And so that's King George the Third. Try to remember that.
Okay, King George the Third.
Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3. It looks like King George. I don't know what it looks like. Yeah, but it means King George the Third. And then Royal Proclamation of 1763. Try to remember that. 1763, King George III. So King George III in 1763, a royal proclamation. A proclamation is just a big word saying this is what King George says. That's he and it's written down. So the king said that all the treaties with the Aboriginal people have to be respected, and that the Aboriginal people have rights. And that was done in 1763. So that's very good. Like they were thinking that they wanted to make sure the Aboriginal people had rights in 1763, which is a long time ago. So that's very good. Okay, so let's see. Those are the things to try to remember there. George III, Royal Proclamation, 1763. Those are the main things to try to remember there. Good. Okay. Okay, let's try the next part, and then I'll move it up. It starts here, and then it goes back up to the top.
Okay. From the 1800 until the 1980, the federal government placed many Aboriginal children in the residential school to educate the assimilate them into mainstream children culture. The schools were poorly founded and inflicted hardship on the students. Some were physically abused. Aboriginal languages and cultural practices were mostly prohibited. In 2008, Ottawa formally apologized to the former students.
Yeah, very good. Very good. And are there any new words there?
Here, from 1800, I see there's S is a century or S for what, I don't know.
Yeah, so whenever you see a little s beside a number, so you would say this is from the 1800s.
Oh,
1800s, and just the 1800s until the 1980s. They put a little s beside numbers, and then that just means plural. It means 1800s, yeah, until the next.
okay.
And do you know what this word assimilate means?
Simplest, which
Assimilate,
one?
where it says, from the federal government down, placed many Aboriginal children in residential schools to educate and assimilate. Do you know what that means?
Okay. No, a symbol, I don't know meaning for that one.
What that means is what the government was trying to do was trying to make the Aboriginal children like the European people.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they wanted to educate them, but assimilate means to become part of another group. So they wanted them to become part of the of the European way of living. That's what they wanted them to do.
Okay.
And so that was and try to remember these dates, because this is a question too. They had residential schools from the 1800s until the 1980s. That's often a question here. And then so these were these were bad schools. This was a bad thing that the Canadian government did. Because sometimes the teachers were religious people. The teachers were like priests and nuns from Christian religions, and they would hurt the children. They would hurt them. And then they said the children couldn't speak their own language. They had to learn English, and so they would hurt them if they spoke their own language. They took them away from their families, like they made them leave their families. And it was a very bad time for Canadian history, because they treated the Aboriginal people very badly, right up until 1980. So it's not that long ago. And so it's very bad. And then 2008, the government apologized. They said they're sorry. And then they gave many of these children who were in schools money, to help them with their life. But yeah, the idea was to put these children, Aboriginal children, in schools and make them like Europeans. But it didn't work out. It was a very bad idea. Yeah. Okay. Do you understand the ideas there?
Understand? Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so can you do the next part then in today's Canada? Excuse me.
In today's Canada, Aboriginal people enjoy renewed pride and confidence, and have made significant achievements in agriculture, the environment, business, and the arts.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so in the past, Canada treated their Aboriginal people poorly, but now in Canada, Aboriginal people are proud and they're confident, and they're doing many good things in Canada, in businesses and arts and many good things. So it was difficult for Aboriginal people in Canada, but now it's becoming much easier, and they're doing well. It's renewed pride and confidence. Yeah, that's what they're saying there. And then can you read the next part there? Today?
Today, the team Aboriginal peoples refer to three distance group. Indians refers to all Aboriginal people are not Inuit or Métis in 1817s. Then the terms First Nations began to be used. Today, about the half of First Nation people live in uh, reserve land in about 600 communities, while the other half live off reserve, mainly in European century.
Yeah, very good. Okay, can you just look
European
and see?
center, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the way in Canada, that's how we spell center, with the R-E. And in the United States, they spell it E-R. So this is how Canada and England, this is how we spell centers. Yeah. Some words when you're looking at them, they're different in Canada and United States, but it's the same word. Is there any new words here in this part here?
Yeah. No, it's not new here.
That's so good. Okay, so the things you want to remember here are the 19th. These are the questions they'll probably ask. 1970s, that's when they started using the word First Nations. Before, it was always Indian. And then the 1970s, they called it the First Nations. Try to remember that, because that's a question. And then this number here, half of the First Nation people live on reserve land. Half of the people. So reserve land is land that the Indians control. So half of all the First Nation people live on reserve, and then the other half, they live in urban centers like cities. So it's half on reserve land and then half in cities. We try to remember those three things. 1970s, First Nations term was used. And then half of the people live in reserves, and then half, so 50% live on reserve, or half, and 50% live in cities. Yeah, you try to remember those things because those are questions.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try some questions today. See how we do here. Can you see this on your screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What do you think? What's this one?
Canada is not the only constitutional monarchy in North America. Is the false.
Yeah, very good. Because it is the only one. Very good. What's this one?
What is the key of process in Canada original constitutional document? The peace, order, and good environment, work order, and good environment, peace, order, and military rights, government, work, and good. Peace, order, and good environment.
Yeah. So this word here is government, right? Good government. Yeah.
Government. Oh, sorry, government. Yeah.
Yeah, they look the same. Yeah, peace, order, and good government. Very good.
What is the name of the Canada Aboriginal constitutional document? The first one, the British North American Act.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Name three. Yes, okay. This question is a name for three beliefs that have enabled Canadians to build propose society rugged environment. Here I have making confuse this question a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So this is saying Canadians had to do three things mostly. It said a rugged environment. So Canada's land is very maybe difficult because it's cold and we have many mountains, and so how did the Canadians build a rich country? How did they do it? What did they do? What are three things that Canadians did to build a rich country in a very difficult place to live? What are three things they did?
Hard work and fair play and ordered liberty.
Yeah, very good, very good.
What kind of commitment of Canadian institutional upload? Peace, order, and good
Yeah,
government.
very good. Sometimes they ask similar questions. Yeah, very good.
As what have poets and songwriters have to Canada? The Great Dominion.
Yeah, very good. Great.
Aboriginal, French, and British.
Very good. Who are the three founding peoples? Aboriginal, French, and British. Good.
These are from Asia.
Yeah.
Asia.
Yeah. So in some places, they say this word is Asia, but in Canada we make that we make the A different. Asia. Yeah, we say Asia. Yeah. Many countries of the world, many countries say Asia, but in Canada,
even in my language, we say Asia.
you say Asia. Yeah. And many countries do, but in Canada, in the United States, we say Asia with a long A. Asia. Yeah.
Asia. Okay.
Asia. Yeah. Just so you know.
Right.
What's this one?
These are false.
Yeah, very good. Treaty rights are in the Constitution. Yep.
When were Aboriginal titles rights first granted? Uh, 1759.
But it's not. It was 7. It's close. It's close. Remember that.
1763. Okay.
Yeah. 1763. Let's see. Yeah. 1763. Good.
This one, King George Sword.
Yeah. Very good. King George III. Very good.
From the 18th from the 118th until the 1980s.
Yeah. Very good. So what would you say? You would say the 1800s. From the
1800s. Oh,
Yeah.
1800s.
The 1800s until the 1980s. So that's a long time. That's like over 100 years. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. To what does the term Indians refer? I think Metis and early satellites, Metis and Inuit.
So Indians. So let's see. So Indians is one of the Aboriginal groups. So remember, there's 3 Aboriginal groups.
Oh, 3 Aboriginal group. Okay. Here, Metis and First Nation. Aboriginal people who are not Inuit or Metis.
Yeah, I think that's right. Because the settlers, when you say somebody's a settler, they're the people that came from Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're trying to trick you there. And Acadians, they're French people, so it's not them. They're trying to trick you there.
Oh,
I think it's this one here, all Aboriginal people. So there's 3 Aboriginal groups. There's First Nations, or Indians, and then there's Inuit and Métis. And we've only talked about the Indians so far. So I think this is, yeah, all Aboriginal people are not Inuit or Métis. Yeah. Let's do this one.
when did the term First Nation begin to be used? In 1980s.
Yeah, I don't think it was 1980s, earlier than the 1980s. It was before the 1980s.
Before 19, okay. Yeah, I see in 1870s.
Yeah, maybe the 1970s. Let's try.
1970s, yes. So.
Yeah, there we go. 1970s. Very good.
About half.
Yeah, about how many people, First Nations people that on reserve plan today? About half. Yeah, very good. Okay.
What's the 3 main?
Can you,
main
this is a
group?
question for next day, but you can do it if you want.
Okay. What are the 3 main groups of the Aboriginal people? First Nation, Métis, and Inuit.
Very good. Very good. I'm going to stop there because
Okay.
that's for next day. Yeah, very good.